Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Laverne Board of Zoning Appeals, October the 25th, 2022. It is 5:30 p.m. I'll call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. If you could just review the minutes from the July the 26th regular meeting, if you would. Any comments or changes, let me know. If not, I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
Maybe to accept the minute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. On to new business. Request for a special exception to allow sales and leasing of trucks and trailers properly located at 25 Ingram Boulevard, tax map 17, parcel 25, I2 heavy industrial zoning, property owned by 25 Ingram Partners LLC. Mr. Logan, give me your report, please.
Thank you. So this is the report for 25 Ingram Boulevard. This applicant is seeking permission to allow sales and leasing of trucks and trailers at this location. The site, of course, is at 25 Ingram Boulevard, and the site is owned by 25 Ingram Partners LLC. And the proposed business would generally operate during normal business hours, and according to the Laverne Municipal Zoning Ordinance, in Article 5, commercial uses that are allowed in the commercial zones, which are C1, C2, C3, and C4. Those uses can be allowed in industrial zoning, in this case the I2 zoning district, if the Board of Zoning Appeals grants a special exception for those commercial uses. One of those uses that would be allowed includes what this applicant is asking for tonight, which is vehicle sales and or leasing. So looking here on the screen, the property right here, it's outlined in blue, this rectangular piece of property, and it is located on the south side of Ingram Boulevard. So for a closer view, you can see here, again, outlined in blue, and the building is here where I'm pointing, and then to the east is a larger parking area, and this driveway comes in from Ingram and makes sort of a horseshoe shape so that they can loop around through the site. And there is some parking here on this west side as well. This is the zoning map, so the dark blue indicates heavy industrial zoning. So again, this is I2 zoning. There is C2 zoning on the west side. That parcel touches Walden Road as well. Then all the other surrounding properties are zoned the same, which is heavy industrial. This is a photo of the site. So you can see the existing building and driveways. So this is Walden Road would be behind you, and this would be going down Ingram to the east. And the next photo is looking west. So again, this is Ingram, and this is the traffic signal at Walden Road in Ingram. And then you can see the other driveway entrance that's existing today. This building is a two-story building currently, and you can see these bays where the current tenant or former tenant has been conducting their business. So there are three large bays on the existing building. And landscaping, the site has some nice landscaping already that probably exceeds what's even required in this industrial district because it's not in an overlay zone. So the landscaping out there is nice. They did submit a full binder with all of their plans and photos, which you have in front of you. And so this is the plan that they submitted that shows the dimensions of the site and the shape and size of the building on the site, as well as the driveways and the utilities. And this is just a closer view of that plan that they submitted. And that completes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Logan. Do you have an applicant here that can stand on the podium, please, if you would, and be sworn in? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record, please, sir.
I'm Bill Herbert. I'm with the law firm of Thompson and Burton in Nashville. Our address is 1810 West End, Suite 1550 in Nashville.
Thanks, sir. Any comments or questions for what Mr. Logan's report was? Any add-on to it?
I've got a little bit of a presentation for you, but I would say that, and this is on me, when Mr. Logan and I first started talking, my client had been telling me that they were gonna do some sales on site. They are not gonna do that. There's no sales. This is simply truck leasing, and that's all. So I just wanted to clarify that. So we're here before you for a special exception, and thank you all for being here and hearing me tonight. As Mr. Logan said, this property is zoned I-2 heavy industrial. We're gonna use the property as is. We're not gonna make any changes to the utilities. We're not gonna expand the building in any way. We're gonna completely as is. The previous use is a concrete pumping company, and I've driven by there, and they may kind of still be in that building, or they may not be. I really don't know. So we're gonna be using it to lease trucks. And if you look over in my little memorandum that I submitted to you all on the Exhibit A, these are the types of trucks that they're gonna be leasing. And so they're gonna be leasing these tractor trailer, but just the tractor component, no trailer component, and medium and light duty box trucks. I was told initially that they would keep about 30 trucks on site. That has been clarified with me. There will be about 15 trucks kept on site. Furthermore, there will be no walk-in business at this site. These trucks are leased to commercial users, and so there's no traffic coming into the site. I'm told that the company intends to employ between 8 and 18 people on site. And that's really about it. As you all probably know, a special exception is a use that comes before the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's a use that's permitted by right under the law, provided that I show you that it complies with the conditions that are set forth within the Laverne zoning code. In my memorandum, and I'll touch on these very briefly, and I won't dwell. In my memorandum, the conditions that are in the zoning code, I've set out as numbers 1 through 9 in the memorandum. I've addressed each of those, and just as a matter of law, quite frankly, I'll just touch on them very briefly, and then I'll turn this over. So the zoning code asks about points of ingress and egress. There are 2, and you all have seen that. There'll be no changes there. It asks about parking and loading areas. You can see from the aerial photograph, we'll be using that as is. There'll be no additional parking at all. It'll be used completely as is. The refuse service is located to the side of the building in the existing place, so we'll be using it in the exact same location. Utilities will be exactly the same. We won't add to or move any of those. The property is secured by a chain link fence. Also, you notice around this property that there's wooded areas, and this is stream buffer. We will leave the stream buffer exactly as it is. We won't encroach into it, and we won't degrade it in any way, exactly as it is. The sign that's on the property, it'll be changed to be the new user, but there'll be no change in the size or illumination or anything like that. The open space that's required by the city, we feel like was met by the current user, quite frankly, and there'll be no change to that. We feel like the use is generally compatible with the area. And if you need to see any more detail, I know that Alta survey that was given to you was really small. I've got it blown up. If you need to see it or have something that's more readable,
Just quickly.
give that to you. It's a heck of a lot easier to read than that other little computer paper that I had to. So, and with that, I'll conclude and be happy to answer any questions that you have, and thank you for your time.
Well, first I'd like to say thank you for a very in-depth report and information. That's always very helpful to us. So just to touch on one, so you're not affecting the existing buildings will remain exactly the same, correct?
Exactly the same, correct.
Okay.
Is there any maintenance on the vehicles at this site?
So the vehicles that are gonna be at this site are gonna be, if you look at my little memorandum, you can see these trucks.
Yeah,
Those are the vehicles that are gonna be at this site. And in fact, the little company logo, that's actually the company that's gonna be leasing it. So it's these exact vehicles. They expect that, there will be, what'd I say, there's gonna be between 10 and 15 of these vehicles maintained at the site at all time. I had initially said 30 in my memorandum. That is not correct. I've confirmed with my client. They're gonna keep about 10 to 15.
so those roll-up doors are like a garage rather than a loading dock?
On the building?
Yes.
Yes, sir, that's my understanding.
Okay. And
They're currently there, and we're not gonna change those.
And the maintenance will be done internally in the building, I assume?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The maintenance will be done inside the building?
That is correct. It'll
Okay.
be done inside the building, and I'll say this, they'll only be doing cleaning and routine maintenance. There will be no, repair work being done on this site. Just whatever may be minor for cleaning up the vehicle, whatever, changing the oil to get it ready for the next person who's leasing the vehicle.
Will they be doing fueling at the site?
That is a really good question. I believe so, because there is already an existing pump
Okay, I
at
didn't
this
see
site.
that on the,
There'll be no add-on in that regard at all, but there is an existing pump at this site.
so they're in compliance with all hazmat and safety regulations? I
Yes,
assume?
sir.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, no.
With that, I'll accept a motion for or against the application as stated.
I submit a motion to accept.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a
Appreciate it.
great evening. Thank
Thank
you.
And with that, I'll call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.